where to live when you have nothing. I mean nothing. And then we'll work our way up into something. Now, I'm going to play a little music in the background. Today is an interesting day. I have a motivation, a drive, an interest, and also a time frame. I've got the next 6 months to get a house or housing. This is it. And it's going to be challenging, but I need to increase my income significantly, and it's not just a promotion. I need to go beyond that. Create a business, create a hobby, create not this stupid crypto scam garbage, and not just investing. I need more. And when I was 18, I was working 65 hours a week. I actually had a W-2 from my church, a W-2 from Chick-fil-A, part-time work, 2 to 3 times a week. And then I would also do a 40-hour a week, 9 to 5, or actually 9 to 6er, where I was making money from working as a vet assistant, Chick-fil-A employee, as well as the church. I was doing dual enrollment with Valencia College, as well as my high school, and that was my senior year of high school. Now, I got a couple C's one semester, and it's because I procrastinated, but also because my workload was heavy. I mean, I was absolutely just destroying my body in every way fashionable. It was not healthy. And it wasn't smart. I got a lot done that semester. For that 6-month period, a lot of stuff happened, but it wasn't something I could do long term. It lasted while it did. It worked while it did. At that point, I had to start focusing on my classes, and I had to change how I was doing my classes. I mean, I got 2 B's and 2 C's in that class, in those classes respectively, and I could have done better, and I shouldn't have procrastinated. And I actually think I could have got A's and B's in those classes if I just set myself forward more, but I was using my work as an excuse to just give up on it. And yes, I believe that if you are getting C's, you've given up. Getting C's is not doing well in the class. You're not trying, you're not studying. Anything beyond that, you're not even, why are you even in school if you get D's and F's? But my point is with this is that we are coming to a time frame where 30 to 50% or even 100% of your income goes to housing in this world, and it's only going to get worse with inflation. So what can we do to combat that? What can we do to survive? Because the reality is, we talked about food before. We talked about if you have no food, like, what do you do? When you have no money, what do you do? Today I'm going to talk about housing and what you can do in your situation. First off, what is the basis of life? You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to take a number 2 and maybe a number something else, you know what I mean? I do think that is a part that is very required in human life, and it's what drives us forward, right? Mike Tyson said, I'm not doing nothing before a fight, like 3 months before a fight. It's that anger, that lust, that whatever, that drive that pushes us forward. It's not just, motivation in life and like to get physically healthy and to generate wealth for yourself and happiness. It goes beyond that. It's chemical. You want to do better for other reasons. But fundamentally, at the bottom of our understanding of our lives goes beyond what your conscious brain says, your subconscious brain says. This is the end goal. You need to have a family. You need to have a relationship, you know what I mean? You need to have a physical relationship. And at least for men, that is like a hammer to the head at all times. And when you don't have that, it can really hurt somebody. But what I'm trying to say with this is that By the way, this is an amazing song. Gold, Stupid Love, Excision, and Millennium. Just amazing. I would say if you have nothing, no house or anything like that, a gym membership, at $10 a month will get you showers, will get you physically healthy in terms of like physical fitness. You'll meet other people there, and you'll see that at a gym there are so many people that have good physical health, good discipline, and everything like that. They're trying to better themselves. If you ask me, getting a golf club membership is nothing in comparison to that. I mean, you're seeing people from all variants of life at all different types of income, but they're all trying to get better. I mean, yeah, specifically at the gym, it's to be healthier physically, stronger, whatever. However, I do think that networking with people that are like-minded to you, where they want to improve themselves physically, most likely they are trying to improve themselves financially, relationshiply, socially, wealth-wise, family-wise, everything like that. So networking with those people when you have absolutely nothing is not a bad option. What's hiring right now? Oh, I work at a restaurant. The tip out's amazing. If you are a server there, you're going to make a good amount of money. I mean, just talk to people at the gym. There you go. That's how you get your job. You get a free trial for a little bit at first if you have absolutely zero. But the main thing behind the gym is somewhere to shower, somewhere to go use the bathroom, hopefully 24 hours. That's it right there. There's your solution. Now, on top of that, what is next? You've got $10 a month and you're at a job now or something like that. You've got food money. You're able to shower and stay clean. Maybe you've got a backpack and you've got your toiletries and food and stuff for a couple days and a change of clothes. Maybe you've got a piece of rope that you're able to hang up your clothes. You shower at the gym and then you take your wet clothes and you shower with them on or something, and then you let them air dry outside, so you always have 1 or 2 pairs of clothes. That can work. Your clothes are going to be starchy as hell, but you'll get the job done. So $10 a month, that's what I say right there. I guess even worse than that, you could kind of go to a public park near you that has like a pool or a water park. There's a place near my house that's like on a lake with a fake beach that they've created, and they have like outdoor showers, but it's not exactly like a real shower. It's just kind of like rinse off after being in like lake water, so that doesn't really count all the way. But what's next? So we talked about, starting from $0 up to $10. Now you've got a paycheck, you've got a decent amount of money, maybe doing a little bit of saving the best you can. The next step up, you got to have transportation to get to your job, hopefully. And that would be like a bicycle or whatever. Facebook Marketplace, a real crapper, or maybe a skateboard or whatever that can get you by. Maybe even a tent, and you just set up somewhere out in the country, like forested area, or just chop away at an area, like have a secret pathway in some forest, like a public park or just an undeclared area. You might get kicked out eventually, but for the time being, you can hide out somewhere, camp out, and have a small tent and make it as dark as possible, no bright colors, so it's not easily spotted. What's on top of that? So now at this point, you've spent maybe $50 to $100 on a bicycle. You've got a $100 tent from Walmart, maybe $50. You've got a decent supply of food. You can't have anything refrigerated or anything, but you get by. a lot of shelf-stable stuff. Maybe you eat out at the right places. You eat at Chipotle once a day, OMAD diet or something like that, or your work gives you food, to supplement your diet. That can work. And you've got a $10 gym membership. Beyond that, I would think to step up to a car. Preferably the largest car that you can find, or even a van. We're talking about like a white van, or maybe an SUV for the headspace, whatever. Something that's under 100,000 miles. Just understand that when you jump into this, you need to have a decent job, because you're going to be paying $200 a month in car insurance, probably $80 a month in gas, depending on the place that you're driving to, and that can get quite expensive. And then let's see from here. Let's say you have a car. A car is cheapest, a SUV is more expensive, a van is even more expensive for even higher miles, because if you buy it resell, it's going to be used with a lot of miles on it. Next up from that would be a Class B van. If you've ever seen an Amazon delivery van, that's a Class B, and hopefully an empty one that you're able to fill out with a cot and all these other things. So now you have a car, a vehicle, and you also have a dry place to sleep at night that isn't just a tent, And now if you park in a safe parking lot, you tint your windows to a legal level. You've got some sunshades that you put out around the windows of the car at night. Make sure to lock your doors with the seat belt wrapped around the door handle and everything like that. You're doing pretty good. Now you're looking at $200 a month in car insurance, $80 a month in gas, maybe $40, depending on, because you don't have to go back home after work. You can just go to the gym and work. And then probably, depending on your food cost, that could be $25 a week, so $100 a month on food. Well, $5 a day is kind of tight, but you can make it work. It's just tough because you can't really cook anything yet. Maybe you get a little camp stove, you can kind of heat up some water or something like that. You can get hot water somewhere. You can get water at fast food restaurants, in a big old cup. Maybe the restaurant that you work at allows you to cook up some food before you head out, or get free food potentially. And then your maintenance on your car, you're gonna have to change your oil every so often, so you've got the tools to do that. You've got a spare tire that you bought. It's used, but it'll get you by if you have a bad tire. And then anything else that breaks in the car is gonna have to come out of pocket. So, and I'm gonna say those respectively in terms of car, SUV, and van. It's simply empty shells. You're not adding anything to them yet. Now when you get up there, you can try to think about a battery supply to charge your electronics, if you have any. And you should be getting the cheapest phone plan. There's actually a couple out there that'll give you 3 gigs of data for the month, and they're completely free. It's just you are used for data collection. Not ideal, but if you need to save money, they're out there. You get free phone plan. Let's see what's next. What would be next to that? So let's say that we're using a car, SUV, or a Class B van, or even a white cargo van interchangeably. The first thing I'd probably try to get in there is some sort of airflow, AC, and heating system. Now your car can run off the gas and it can AC the car and heat it, but it burns through gas. So we want to try to find an alternative method that is battery powered, maybe even some solar panels. But at first you should just start off with a rechargeable solar fan. that you take out during the day. You charge it at work or wherever, at Starbucks, and then at night you turn it on. It just gets the air moving. It's not going to cool it down, but it'll blow on your face at night and keep you semi-cool. You probably want to invest in some blankets. And now at this point, you probably have to do your laundry somewhere at a laundromat. That's going to be a couple bucks a load. So you've got like a sleeping bag, a pillow, a blanket, maybe a handful of clothes. Your food now, you've got a camp stove, maybe even electric or some solar version of a stove, whatever. Now you can heat up water, maybe even cook some meat from time to time on a charcoal grill. You know, you've got some charcoal and a lighter, so you'll take that to like a local campground or park, and you'll grill out once a week. And you've got a cooler, you'll buy $2 of ice with it. It'll get you for a couple days, and it's no fridge, but it'll, get you by. You'll keep it in your car. It'll do just fine for you. And now you can actually buy meat at the store and buy, things that you're able to cook and then cool in your cooler and keep fresh for a little bit longer. And beyond that, I would definitely bougie up a Class B van first. We're talking about an AC system powered by a battery that's recharged by a solar panel on the top, a bunch of different things, Maybe even a battery-powered solar recharged from the top of the van, cooler, so you don't have to buy ice as much. Maybe you still have to buy ice from time to time to keep it extra cold. Maybe you've got a little food pantry or kind of like a food box, milk crate of food, a good supply, so you can buy in bulk now, kind of thing. What's next? Maybe you're working your way up in your job. It's been a year, maybe 2. It's been tough, but you get by. You're physically healthy, you're strong, and you've been showering at the gym still. What is the next step from there? There's a couple options. That's where it gets kind of skewed. You can rent a room, you can Airbnb, you can rent an apartment, rent a condo, rent out a space, like a second part of the house, like a mother-in-law suite kind of thing behind someone's house. Maybe you crash with a friend, and you crash with them for a week, and then you've got to get back in your van again or car, maybe for a week or 2, and then a buddy will let you stay over at his house again. You pay him $100, you cook some food for him, that kind of arrangement. Hopefully you've done some networking, because you need friends in high places right now. You're on the struggle. From there, what's next? Probably considering buying an RV of some sort, like a Class C RV, but that's kind of convoluted to get in a parking lot where you're working. So maybe like upgrading your Class B a little bit more, having a septic tank, maybe switching out your Class B with a Class B RV that actually has a septic tank, water, quick shower, stuff like that. Maybe even have not just a data plan at this point for your phone, but you actually have internet, like a mobile Wi-Fi router with Starlink, Elon Musk or whatever. Something like that. Trying to think what else would be there. Your battery pack's significantly better, so your AC will run for longer at night. Maybe you upgrade your solar panels, and now you're completely self-sufficient out of your RV or Class B RV. It's cramped, but you get by, and it's nice and discreet, so you can park it in any parking lot. You've got really nice door locks, and you've got semi-tinted windows with blinds on them, so at night you just pull the blinds down. And it's a Class B van, so it fits into most parking spots, so you don't have to worry about looking like an RV that's parked in a Walmart parking lot. You're kind of, secretive. You're going to have to move from place to place because you can't stay for more than maybe a day or so in a parking lot without rousing suspicion. From there, you can take your Class B van, which is valued at $50,000. It's probably still in a loan, but you put $25,000 towards it at this point, maybe less, maybe more. But you're able to sell it and maybe make a little bit of profit because you're doing good finances, So you actually made a little bit of money, you remodeled a little bit, you kind of set it up better for RV use. You put those solar panels on the top, so you actually made good profit on it. You take that and you start renting a room for real now, maybe a little bit nicer of a house, maybe rent a house, rent an apartment that's got 2 bed, 1 bath kind of thing, or maybe 1 bed, 1 bath apartment. You could live there with somebody, but it doesn't really work for roommates. Or maybe you do get roommates, an apartment, that's 2 bed, 2 bath. You've got a roommate, he's pretty cool. You've discussed everything about keeping everything in the fridge and everything. Don't piss off the other guy. The rent goes to the landlord. It's separated out. You don't have to actually pay each other either way. You just kind of pay the landlord each half, so that works. Alright, so now you've been in your apartment for a while and you've been renting for a while. You've been losing a little bit of money, but not as much as buying a house. Now you need to figure out where you want to live and what career you're going into. Well, I hope you already figured that one out, but now we're really looking at where do we want to be, how close do we want to be to work, and now we need to start considering buying a house, renting out the rooms, buying a duplex and renting out the other half. That's, hell, maybe even jumping back in that van and living out of that for a bit and renting out an entire house while you're paying the mortgage. You make $200 profit a month. You do have the liability of someone breaking the AC unit or something, but for now, you're making $200 profit every single month. On top of that, you're building equity, and eventually you'll be able to move back into the house once you have your finances in order. So you're still living out of your car. You check on the house once or twice a week. The tenants are great. You've got a good contract with them, and they're pretty nice people, and their payments are always on time. This right here is some real estate investing. Now you're talking about having a car that you require to go to work, and then having a house that is an entire income stream. There is no downsides to it. You're actually making an income off of it, and now it's actually making you money. From there, you can hold on to it or you can pay it off. It's going to take a while, but until you get your money up, it's kind of what the situation you're in. Maybe you've got an add-on to the house that you put in for $20,000 that adds on another room to the house on the outside, or maybe like a guest house, a decent property, and now you're able to, live out there as the landlord, stay out of the way, and you actually have a centralized location where you're able to live. And eventually, when you sell the house, it's a great marketing strategy. From there, we're talking about expanding. We're talking about actually making money from this. So once the house is paid off, your income extremely exceeds it, and now you're doing well with it. I'd kick the tenants out, I'd start living there, and now consider buying another house with the money that you have. And your entire strategy behind this is renting it out and making money off of it. So now you have your house, you're supporting yourself with it, but you've got extra income. And you can invest that in the S&P 500 or whatever and make a decent amount per year off of that, and that works. But you want to build equity, and you never want to be homeless again. So now you're going to buy another house that is able to be rented out, and now you make $500 a month off of it. And that's including the utilities and problems that may arise. So your actual income from it is $800. but you're allowing yourself to take on the 500. The other 300 gets invested, and you'll pull it back later if you really need it. Maybe you've got some savings accounts, you've got some retirement funds that you're into, and your career's flourishing. Now you have 2 houses, one of which you live in, and you're able to start raising a family in, and the other one you're able to rent out. And now you're considering even buying a 3rd house because you just got a promotion at your job, and what do you want to do? Make more money. So now you have a collection of 3 houses that are all decent quality, and their prices are going up on them. The value of the house is going up. You bought them at $250,000 to $300,000, and now they're scheduled to be up to $600,000 within the next 10 years. So now not only are you profiting in equity, you're making rental income. You actually are able to live somewhere now, which is vital to your survival, I believe. But now you're able to sell that house later and make $300,000 off of it, and no loans anymore. Yeah, that's the goal. I'm in a situation right now where I've got 6 months left, and I better get my act together because I'm running out of time. That's the plan. Maybe get my real estate license, start working for a real estate agency. It doesn't matter. I need to get into this industry because this is just the surface level what I know. I want to know more. I want to learn about first-time home buyers. I want to learn everything there is to know about all of this. And if I'm going to succeed in life, I need to know. Anyways, I wish you the best. And I'll see you later. Peace.